Today on Mysterious Morsels, we're talking about sharks. Now, you know, as the weather gets warmer and people think about the shore, because it's not the beach if you live in the Northeast, but we'll talk about that another day. You think about dun 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 dun. God bless John Williams. Okay, sharks are awesome. I've said it. Said it a million times. I heart them. Wearing a shark shirt right now. It's sharktastic. Everything is sharky. There's really no reason to even like dolphins and whales, but if you do, it's fine. I'm not going to judge. I just know that you're not loving the superior fishy. Here's the deal. I know whales, mammal, whatever. So here's where I'm at. This time of year, it's always this wonderful influx of either really bad shark movies that show up or one token attempt at a good shark movie that has been repeated because, as we all know, in 1975 on July 4th weekend, which next year is going to be the anniversary, it is always Jaws. And supposedly when Spielberg got a hold of it and he saw the script, he thought it was about a dentist. He didn't know what it was, and then he read it and he thought it was really cool, obviously based on Peter Benchley's novel. So let's just unpack from there. If you've never read the book, read it. It's pretty cool. Thought it was well written. I feel badly because Peter Benchley wrote the book with the intention of saving sharks, kind of worked against his thoughts, and he spent most of his life in conservatories and such to make people not go shark finning and do terrible things. So don't do that if you're doing that. That's bad. I hope you get indigestion if you have shark fin soup. But it was written for that purpose to, conserve and respect the mega power, if you will, of sharks. And, of course, it was translated into film. And you had like Joe Alves and all the people behind the Spielbergian backstory. And he had done, right out of film school, and he had done basically taken on a script to do that in the Cape Cod area, which was also someplace they never shot. And there's a million little fun facts and things all over the place with Jaws. And of course, the shark never worked, and they named it Bruce after his lawyer. And there's like a million little bits and pieces that everybody just sort of seems to know in the lore of all things Jaws. But what was really cool that made Jaws sort of pop, first of all, it was the season. It wasn't the middle of December. It was the season. People were in the water. You don't know what's under you in the water. And it worked because you don't see the shark because it didn't work. So there's this mystery of this darkness, like what's going to come up under or at you, or, when you see the girl, poor little Chrissy Watkins, back and forth on the beach being torn from side to side, you don't know what's nagging at her, what's pulling her, and then all of a sudden she's gone. So that idea of the suspicious and the mysterious and the unknown and the deep, it's just cool because there's something out there. What Leviathan is down there that you don't know about? And that's in any case. I mean, if you just get in the water, you're not in a pool. So you really don't know what's down there. Could be seaweed, could be jellyfish, could be a crab, could be nothing. But there's always something in the ocean. You're not alone. You know that. I don't care if you're swimming very tightly on a raft with 12 friends. Stuff's in the ocean. So that's not disputable. The mystery of it was so unique that it inspired a whole level of really terror and horror without being overly gory or disgusting or anything like that. Of course, it inspired a lot of parody too and knockoffs. But really good shark movies range not just from the whole Jaws series, and I get it. They kind of replicated plots, but it is cool. It's straight up man versus nature in the sense that or man versus animal, really, in that you're going to go after this person and get them. And everything about it is visceral. It's a gut reaction. You have it whether you like it or not. It's the same thing that makes you slam on the brakes when you see red lights behind you in a car. You can't control it. You might get white coat hypertension. The doctor puts a cuff on your arm. All of a sudden, your blood pressure's higher. It's just one of those things. And it's cool. It works. And it works because it relates to everybody. I don't care if you never go in the water and you hate it. It's still in you. It's in your gut. So that's what makes it awesome. And every year I've noticed this symphony of shark studies and shark stuff. And not that you can't watch documentaries and Shark Week and all the cool things, but the movies that have kind of gone along with it, some are great, some are not. I'd like to speak to a couple of them. The Shallows with Blake Lively. I thought that was very well done. Smart chick gets caught surfing, oops, dead whale. Oh my God, stuck. What am I going to do? I'm stuck on the shallows. She's in the middle of Mexico. There's a language barrier. She's by herself. You shouldn't be doing that. Her friend leaves her. What are you going to do? And she ends up really being brainy and getting into a bad situation, getting herself out of it. I thought that was brilliantly done. A whole different world because you see the shark constantly. It's not like Jaws at all, but new spin on things. It's a few years old. Really like that movie. 47 meters down, not so much, but okay, I'll give you the cage diving idea and that you're going to go and see sharks as an enthusiast, and then of course things go bad and you end up in the water, not in a cage, and definitely want to check reputable companies. Moral of that story, but that's definitely something you could speak to tourism, and it's possible. The more plausible it is, the more verisimilitude you have, the better off you are. Definitely liked the whole, just for comedy purposes, the whole Sharknado series. I wouldn't run out and say, "Ooh, it's on. I've got to DVR that." But in all the 5 Sharknados, they're pretty ridiculous. But you got to give them a little nod in the comedy category, because they were filling a need of shark comedy, which is even above something like Disney, where you saw Shark Tale and you would see the cute little clip from Nemo, shark bait, or Bruce the shark, which no accident they named him Bruce after the whole homage to Jaws. But in its own right, as goofy as they were, and there was a million of those B-movie two-headed shark and this and that. But I think the Sharknado series really kind of gave some comedic life to sharks, because there is shark appeal. People like it. It's like Titanic. It's like JFK. I mean, there's just things that draw you to it, and as a topic, it's just that visceral reaction. And even if you're terrified and you hate sharks, and maybe you don't like watching stuff like that, you still listen when somebody's talking about it, because it's just so inbred. It's innate, it's a part of you. Fight or flight, you see a fin, you're gonna freak out most likely. I personally always tell my friends I'm going to swim toward him and pet him. They tell me I'm crazy, but I don't know. I haven't gotten close to a shark other than the ones in SeaWorld. And they always yell at me for trying to climb in the tank. I know, I apologize, SeaWorld, but 2 fingers, pet them. Come on, you gotta at least give me a whole hand there. I could hey buddy, rub your belly, but they don't like me to do that. Anyhow, me getting thrown out of SeaWorld aside, the other thing that comes to mind as one of the movies that I thought was different was, and I have 3 now, I believe, but the original Open Water. That was a unique spin. A couple divers go out, just get left, which is really a problem with the diving company. Coincidentally, they're in the Bahamas. There were reef sharks, and honestly, they don't really usually bother people. And they were there a while. I mean, literally days before something bad happened to them. But because the sharks are like, okay, I guess you're here, chomp chomp. Eventually they don't make it. Spoiler alert. But they did revisit Open Water, where there's like a boat situation, I think in the second one, where they can't get back up on the boat because somebody didn't put the ladder out, like something silly. Of course, they amp it up by having like a baby on board in this beautiful yacht, and of course the mom's in the water. But it's just different. That was more of an abandonment situation where the sharks were just like, hey, you're gonna stick around, you're my burger. So that was different. That was like a different play on shark stuff, apart from the I'll say the canon of shark law, if you will, from Jaws. So so many different variations and so many different movies, too many to count. A lot of B, I would say. If it didn't necessarily have to be a blockbuster, but my sort of count on that is, did it just go to the Sci-Fi Channel, or did it actually go to the movie theater? If it actually went to the movie theater, no matter how well or poorly it did, I will give you that it is a screen time for sharks, and it works. Love the Meg, love it. Glad they made the Meg 2. They're probably going to make a Meg 3. That's my prediction. What do I know? But the Meg was funny because it very pretentiously got in the face of Jaws and other movies like that, but in a campy way. And you couldn't watch that movie and not at least slightly be engaged in what they're telling you from a science perspective. Science fiction's whole purpose is to suspend the belief of the reality so that you buy into the fake little piece of science and you think that it can happen. And they did a good job of that. I mean, it's not weird to have underwater expeditions, and it's not weird to think that there's this climate shelf and they could have had potentially this thing erupt and then, the Sharky got through. I mean, they put it in a way that it's plausible, and you throw some Jason Statham on top of that, and what's not to love? Plus, he's sarcastic, and the minute you have a sarcastic lead person, that's it, you're in, because let's be honest, he's funny, and he's witty, and of course, he's the voice of reason, so he's saying out loud what everybody's thinking. And it was cute. It was funny. They even so much as to bring the dog Pippin back into it in the end. So worth the watch. So there's this gamut of shark stuff, and 'tis the season because over the warm weather times, people head for the water, and I don't care if you're going to a pool. You're gonna have maybe the little floaty or your swimmies that look like a shark, or maybe a Vatel that looks like a shark, or maybe the bottom of your pool is painted like a shark. Personally, I would like to get one where a shark is biting into a Coke can, but I'm not there yet. So I don't know. But it's just part of summer, no different than I'm going to make iced tea. It's just one of those things that you do. Hey, Jersey tomatoes are back. I'll get some. Got to watch a shark movie. Just like you would think to turn on, I don't know, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation in the holidays. Just like you watch The Grinch. It's just one of those things that you do. I certainly look for it. I believe right now there's a Dolph Lundgren movie coming out that is shark related. The title escapes me, but it's some this year's sharky thing. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know that there's any more sequels, prequels, or whatever else from previous things. But I always watch Jaws. I watch it whenever it's on. I own everything I can about it. I know everything I can about it. Fascinated. So sad that I missed the ride on the East Coast in Universal. It had shut down. First time I went to Universal was the summer of 2016, and they shut it down in March. It was so close, and I was so upset. I hear that it still runs in Japan, and I've seen walkthroughs of that, and I think it might have existed. I think it's gone, but I think on the West Coast it existed later. It was a very expensive gag to run. They had actual explosives and things on the water, so I can understand why they did it, but they still have the sharks hanging in like the little Amity Cove, which is cool. So I'm glad that there's still an homage to that, and I hope they never take that part down. Shark Lake, that was the name of the movie coming out. I haven't seen it yet. I don't know if it's released yet, but that's the Dolph Lundgren movie this season. So don't worry, I'll be there. Oh, yes, I will be in the movie theater to see it. Shark Lake. I mean, just the fact that it's a lake, let's be real, it can't be a great white. So I'm sorry, not to diss all the other sharks out there. You're all cool. You have a special place in my heart, but you're never going to be the shark unless you're the great white shark. Let's be honest. We all think it. We all know it. Just accept it. Move on. Anyhow, definitely a shark-tastic summer ahead. So if you have never watched any shark movies, watch them. Start with Jaws. It is the OG. It is definitely where you need to go for shark entertainment. Sharktainment, if you will. So just remember, the next time you're swimming in the ocean and it's sort of getting late, and you turn back to look over your shoulder, and there's something that you thought you saw, but you weren't sure if you saw it. Then a big wave comes, and you go a little bit farther from shore, and then you might turn back again and think you saw it again. We have two choices. Swim like crazy to get back to the ocean, to get back to the land, or turn around, scream, "Sharky, shark," and embrace it, and see if you can pet him. Let me know how that works out. I have a feeling it's not going to be the latter as your choice, but you should totally embrace the shark of it all, and definitely watch it, look at it, look for the similarities, check out the Easter eggs, look for the things that are so iconic about all the actors involved and all the connections from 1 to 4. And yes, there were 4 Jawses, if you will. I wish they'd make a 5th, but who knows. And in the meantime, make sure that you're enjoying it and appreciating it for what it is. Not just the nature of it all and the power of it all, but it is a spectacle, and it is pretty cool. And even if you are afraid, you're in your comfort of your home and your couch, so it's not going to get you, I promise. Although when I was 3 and my brother took me to see Jaws, my first film, I did run across the parking lot rather quickly, thinking that he was going to come get me, or when I turned water on in any source, i.e. the bathtub, the shark would somehow appear. I later came to find out the great whites cannot be kept in captivity, so you're okay. But just, don't be afraid of those things. Thanks for checking out the video today. Let us know in the comments what's your favorite shark movie. And if you haven't started watching shark movies, tell me what the first one is that you're going to watch, how enthusiastic you are about it, and why it's your favorite, because there's all things shark to talk about. And while you're at it, give a look to the link that we dropped you for some awesome shark swimmies and shark pool and ocean paraphernalia, because there's nothing cooler than shark drink koozies and shark floats, obviously, if it looks like you're chilling with your favorite great white. If you like this type of content, scare the like button into turning blue and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. Thanks for watching.